Hey everybody, thanks for coming by Bobby Fitzgerald Golf. Nice to see you again. Hey, would you do me a favor before we start this and hit that subscribe button? That really helps me grow the channel. And at the end of this video, um, hit the like button. If you like my content and you're getting something out of this, or you just think I'm funny, whatever it is, I'll take it. So today we're going to talk about V for victory in golf. And the V, that just means that you're keeping the V from your shoulders, your arms, down to your grip together as much as you possibly can, and let your core turn, let your body turn, and try not to let the arms um, move in one way or another, so that you're the same at impact as you were at address. So we're going to go over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm sure you already have seen something like this anyway. Maybe if you haven't, this would be a good thing for you to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my grip, and you'll see the V formed by my hands, my arms, up to my shoulders. So you'd want to keep that as much as possible during the whole swing, because if you're in position here to strike this ball, if you let those arms get away from you in any way, way up here, a lot of people slice bring this way up, they try to hit it hard, and they come over the top, and that causes a slice. But if you can keep these connected to you as much as possible, try to keep them in towards your stomach, that's going to help you get away from this over-the-top move, as well as make your shots much more solid. So what I'm going to do is, when I'm going to hit this ball, is try to keep that V as long as possible, let my core turn my shoulders, which in turn is connected here. I'm not going to move my arms independently. I'm letting the shoulders bring my arms, so that everything remains the same, basically, as it was at address. So let's go ahead and try one of those and see what we can do here. Hope you're all having a good day. I have 60% of the weight on my left side. Almost looks like I'm leaning, because we don't want any weight going on the right side of our trail foot. Once you're over here and sway, you're going to be hitting the back of that ball. Maybe if you come up a little bit, you might be topping it. The odds of hitting a good shot are not good. So we're going to keep the weight on the inside of our trail foot. A little bit flared out. We'd like to keep these flared out, because if I'm like this and I do this, see how that hip opens? That gives me more room to come through from the inside. I do this one flared out, because then I'm not putting too much pressure on this hip as I follow through and get off my right foot. So it should all, you get used to doing that, it should feel pretty natural. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to fall over doing it. You just want it, you can bring it like about that, and just have a nice smooth swing. So again, I'm getting that nice V, having my weight forward, about 60% forward, I never want the weight from my back foot, my trail foot, to be anywhere but on the inside going towards the target, like here. So you've heard a lot about weight shift. Weight shift is not this. You're not getting any of your weight here, because then it's almost impossible to get back. So you're going to try to keep that V with a nice smooth swing, and also not be too tight. It'll take a little while if you're not used to it, but once you get used to it, you're going to love it, because your shots are going to be much more crisp. You're going to hit the ball a little farther, and you're going to be pretty happy with the results. We're going to follow the plane created, because my back is over a little, my arms are hanging here. We have like a hula hoop look to it. He's got that plane there. It's so hot, a little sweat on my hands. So here we go. Just let my core turn. And hit through that ball. Try another one. I have the ball about inch and a half in back of my forward heel. I'm going to try to keep centered the whole time. Just let my body make the turn. And hit the ball. And you might be thinking, do I do that with all my clubs? Yeah, you do, because that's the way to be consistent. It doesn't matter whether you're hitting that 7-iron or you're hitting this 23-degree hybrid. Sorry, this is in the shade. I'm trying to keep this out of the sun so that you can actually see it a little better. Like I know that it's coming through pretty bad. So anyway, you want to hit that ball on the face of this club and let that club lift the ball. People get in trouble. They say, well, I can't hit shots off the fairway with my woods. One of the reasons is it's because you're coming up at the ball. So you hit this leading edge at the ball and it rose barely off the green. I mean, barely off the green, barely off the fairway, and just goes down a little bit. But if you can have your hands a little ahead, hit the ball on the face of this club. The face of the club has the loft. That's what puts the ball in the air. Easy for me to say. Hay fever. That's what puts the ball in the air. So that's why we would like to have our hands a little bit ahead with our irons, with our fairway woods. And a lot of people have a problem with that because they go, I'm trying to hit my, I try to hit my 3-wood over 200 yards or 200 yards, depending on our flexibility and things. And so they're trying to help it up. You have to hit down with a descending blow a little bit to get the ball in the air. So let's go do that with this hybrid. So it's the same thing. The plane changes a little bit because it's a longer club, so you're standing a little bit farther away. Same with your 3-wood, same with 5-wood, same with your driver. The driver, of course, you're going to put forward, and you're hitting with an ascending blow, not a descending blow. But the swing is basically the same. It is the same. Okay, so I have my feet flared out, I have my weight going forward. I have the hands just a little bit ahead of the ball to make sure I'm hitting down at the ball and hitting the face of this club into that ball. That's the only thing that's going to drive this ball up in the air. My V's are going to try to remain as much together as possible. But of course, when you get up here, this is going to fold a little to give you a little more room. You don't really have to fold it a whole lot, depending on your swing, but it will fold. But you want to keep your V's at impact pretty much where they were at address to make sure you hit that ball solid. Let's try it. Ball position is the same as my 7-iron. About an inch and a half back on my left, my forward foot. Try one more. I got a little speedy on that one, but that's okay. When you're practicing, that's what you're going to do things. We're all human beings. So that's good for you to see. I got a little speedy. That's a little better. Anyway, any degree that you can change your swing and even get close to what I'm talking about is going to help your game. And that's true with any form of practice. You might not get perfect. Nobody's perfect. But the closer you can get to these things, the closer you can get to not coming over the top, the closer you can get to not rushing your downswing, it's all going to help your golf game. Let's do this again. And again. You can hear when it comes out right how much more solid that ball is. I had my hands just a little bit further forward that time. So you need to work on that with whatever works for you. You can have your hands pretty far ahead. The main thing is to hit the face of this club. So what I'm talking about today and what I came to let you know is that V for victory. You're going to feel like it's a victory if you can learn to keep those V's together, keep your hands a little bit ahead, let your core turn your body, try to get this 90-degree turn. You don't have to get to 90, just, it helps. It helps for distance, it helps for accuracy. But not everybody can do that, and that's perfectly okay. Try to do the best you can and get as far as you can back. If you have to bring this back, that opens up this whole bit, and that will let you come back almost to 90, if not 90. It's like when I take this club and I'm practicing my turn so that my shoulders, my core brings my shoulders and my arms, so it's stationary. Everything is stationary but my core. If I'm like this, I can turn a certain amount, right? Follow that plane. If I bring this back a little bit, this opens that up, and I flare this out a little bit. See how much farther I can get back? So there's not a problem with that. It really helps seniors get a lot more distance. It'll help almost anybody get more distance. But especially for seniors, because we don't want to put a lot of pressure on our hips. We want to avoid that hip surgery at all costs. So on this one, I'm going to take my stance. I have my feet both slightly open. I'm going to bring this foot back and turn out more. That helps me even get more of a turn. Hands ahead of the ball. And you can just hear the whip through that ball. So this was a short video today because we're basically just working on that V for victory. And the most important thing is try to keep it, it's going to take some practice, but try to keep it the same all the way through the swing. When you're up here and this starts to, your elbow starts to fold, that's okay. You have to do that for some distance. But as you come down, if it stays next to your body as you're coming down, this V comes right back. Watch, I'm going to bring that up. It's going to come right back. So one of the things you have to work on is making sure you're not strangling the club, hanging on so tight that you can't make a fluid swing. So it takes a little while to get used to that. But once you do, and you know you're doing the right thing, to try to help your swing, depending on limitations. I mean, some people have had neck problems and they can't get around much. And we can work on that at another video. Some people have had herniated discs. Some people have wrist problems. Some people may have even hurt one of their arms and they can't keep it that straight. If you can keep it as straight as possible, that's going to help you have a better game. You look at a player like Calvin Peete, I believe he hurt his left elbow in an accident when he was very young. And so his swing was something like this, because he couldn't. But I believe, if I'm correct, not always correct, but I believe if I'm correct, Calvin Peete won 12 tournaments. So he's a very good golfer. A lot of professional golfers don't win 12 tournaments. You know, when you've won 12 tournaments, you've had a great career on the PGA Tour. More than that, unbelievable. We know Nicklaus and Palmer and Tiger and those guys. Tiger's crazy great. He's unbelievable. But a lot of people won a lot of tournaments. Sam Snead, you know, what a classic swinger of the golf club he was. And you can learn a lot from watching Sam Snead. Go back and look at the old newsreels of Snead and Ben Hogan, my gosh. And you're going to see when Ben Hogan's coming through the ball, his right leg is not, his knee is not bent. He's like this. He's through. He's like this. He's not like this. Some people will say, come here, but they do. They get like this. You watch almost any good swinger of the golf club, they're not trying to keep their knees bent all the way through the whole thing. You can't do that and have a really good swing. I mean, I'm sure you can get away with it if you're happy with what you're doing with it. but it's not the classic way. It's not the best way to get power at all, because the only thing touching the ground is your feet. This is a power source for you. Jack Nicklaus had very strong legs, you know, and you see a lot of the professional golfers now, because of Tiger's regiment, a lot of professional golfers are working out. And one of the things they're doing is they're doing power squats. Get those legs strong. Get the upper thighs very strong. Put a lot of, not power, wrong word, but to really put pressure on their feet as they come through to get a lot of power springing through the ball. And so back to our V for victory. So yeah, just try to keep that V as much together. You can work on it. If you don't have a lot of good shots right away, you're working on it. You know, the process. Once you get there, some people will get it on their first practice session. Some people might take a week or whatever. But you know, once you get something, it feels so good, and you start doing it so much better. And people ask you, how come you're hitting the ball so much straighter and farther? What have you been doing, man? You know, and that's kind of fun when they start asking you questions. I remember when I was young, and people asked me, how do you do this? How do you do that? And that's pretty fun. It makes you want to work harder. So have more questions coming at you. You know, it's one of those, it gets addicting trying to help people. And I really love helping people. And I hope I helped you a little bit today, even with this short video. And if I did, please hit that like button and please subscribe. It helps me build my channel. And come back and see me again at Bobby Fitzgerald Golf. This is a pleasure helping anybody I can. So until I see you next time, have fun and never give up. God bless.